Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for everybody for showing up and all that. Today, first of all, I'm Scott from the Compass Rose True North podcast, and today is a very special guest, Mr. Ray Cash Care. Now, I'm very personal when it comes to Ray Cash Care because of who he is. He's a former Navy SEAL, so get him on the show. Good afternoon, Mr. Care. How you doing? I'm doing outstanding. Now, before I get started, I would like to take a moment of silence to remember the forgotten, the fallen. It's important to me and everybody else, so just take a moment. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Now, I'm an ex-Navy and all that, so I'm very personal about it. I understand you're a former Navy SEAL, correct? Yes.
That is correct.
And it's just amazing on who you are, how you got where got to where you are now as motivation, inspiration for a lot of people, whether it be young, old, or whoever, because you help motivate. And I think that's awesome. So if you could give me a little bit of your backstory and who you are, what you were before, prior.
Yeah. So Ray Care, 51 years old or young, however you want to look at that glass. Baltimore native. Didn't have the best of upbringings. Father was murdered when I was 11. I was going down a dark road. Long story short, I did a little bit of self-reflection, realized that joining the military was pretty much my only avenue. So I did join the Navy. Didn't know much about the SEAL teams at the time. Went into the recruiter's office, saw this amazing, because back then we didn't have the internet and all that. I saw this little pamphlet, and it was Navy SEALs. It was the toughest training in the world. And lo and behold, I didn't have the combined aptitude scores for it. So I said, that's what I'm going to do. Joined the military in 1992. At the end of 1994, I went to Bud's Class 200, Basic Underwater Demolition 200 with Class 200. Graduated. I got my certificate. I'm redoing the office. I've got my certificate right there. Graduated with that class. About 146 of us started. 16, I think, or 13 original made it. Spent a total of 12 years in the military. Went over to one of the government agencies. It begins with a C, ends with an A. Did 14 years with them. Collectively, about 40 trips overseas, ranging from 2 months to 120 days. Was a firearms instructor for the agency at Camp Perry. Did some stuff with Rob O'Neill when I was doing the Spagel, or what you all know from the movie Zero Dark 30. Left that world. It was tough on the family. Started getting into the entrepreneurial world with Bedros Koulian. We started a couple programs that are pretty well known. The Project, the 75-hour kick in the butt. We have the father-son program, which I still do, which is my favorite program, the youth program, between the ages of with young men between the ages of 11 and 16, because my father was murdered when I was 11, and that's when I had the most problems. We also do, still currently do Operation Black Site. That's where myself, Tim Kennedy, Michael Chandler, and a star-studded cast of speakers and instructors put on a year-long mastermind in Temecula, California. Currently, I don't like the word motivational speaker. I'm an elevational speaker. I try to elevate people to a different level. I am the Chief Communications Officer of Watchtower Firearms, which recently just purchased F1 Firearms, which is a very well-known skeletonized gun company. I'm a father of two, still live on the East Coast in Virginia, and I I travel around doing a lot of mindset and motivation, which I don't like the word motivation, peak performance coach, if you will. And my my end goal is to be the next Jack LaLanne. I want to be, 85 years old, pulling a truck in a jumpsuit, looking like $1,000,000, leaving a legacy.
That
That's what I want to do.
that's see, there's not many people who could say that, but with all the obstacles that stood in your way and all that, with your father passing and all that, to get you into the SEAL team and had a lot going against you. The biggest things were, I respect you for, especially for what you've done and the sacrifices that you made for our country and for your family and everything like that, for us to be able to do what we are doing today. So I'm greatly appreciative of that. And because there's a lot of young
Thank you.
people out there that are looking for someone, looking up to people. And sometimes they think, hey, I can't make it. I can't be that person. And with your story, yes, you can.
Yeah, I mean, take off that little apostrophe and T. It goes from can to Ken, won't to one. I mean, I can play this game all day long. It's all in the mindset. It's all about programming your mind. I tell all these young men, I get hit up every day. They're like, I want to be a Navy SEAL, or I want to be this, but I'm like, there can't be a but. There can't. But is part of Plan B. There can be no B. You have to do it. You have to set your mind to it. You have to prep for it. You have to put in the work. Becoming a SEAL is not easy, but either is becoming a police officer, becoming a firefighter, or becoming a teacher, or becoming anything. Nobody just becomes something. I mean, as a kid, you get a job as a busboy. I mean, maybe you advance to, a server, then become a bartender. That's a craft, a trade. I mean, everything takes time. No one's going to become anything. Anything of importance overnight. You don't just show up at the fire academy and become a firefighter. I have a lot of friends that do that. I think some of them have the hardest jobs in the world. I mean, look at my wife's a stay-at-home mom. You don't just become sure, you might have the title immediately, but there's a lot of work that's involved. That's the key to everything, is just work hard. And what I tell people is change your spirit animal, because everybody wants to be the lion or the wolf. And I have shirts coming out, and this isn't a sales pitch, but be the cockweed. Be half cockroach, half garden weed. Everybody, I'm going to touch on it right now. Everybody in America wants to be the orchid. The orchid, you have to plant in the perfect spot. It has to have just the right amount of water, just the right amount of sunlight. Nothing can touch it. That's not real. That's not the real world. I train with Tim Kennedy and a bunch of UFC fighters, and I'm 51, and I lay there when I'm dying, and they poke me with a stick, and I move. And I tell them, they're like, you're like half cockroach, half garden weed. You can pull me, you can spray me with poison, no matter what, I will come back. Someone said the honey badger. Listen, yes, be the honey badger. They're mean little sons of buggers. But just be hard to kill. Be the one that when you walk into the room, they go, holy crap, that guy going against us, we don't stand a chance. That girl going against us, we don't stand a chance. That's who you have to be. That's what's wrong with America now. 56 Brave is on here. He is my VFW commander. He's an amazing human being, and we're doing an amazing event. We're going to be walking like some astronomical amount of miles for charity. So SF, he's joking. But that's the mentality. That's the lifestyle. It's not even a mentality. It has to be the lifestyle that you have. You have to be hard to kill. You have to be magnetic, where people want to be around you. And like, if you go against me, you need to understand you're not, they're going to be like, oh Lord, this guy is going to find a way to beat me. You just have to be.
And that's an inspirational drive on how you keep going, because that's what I was going to ask you is, through those endeavors that you had to go through, which a lot of it was tough. It was hard. There's no question about it. What was your motivation? What was your inspiration to keep you going when the things got tough? Even when you had, you see that bell every single time, it's like, man.
There's the bell right there. See, I keep it visual. Well, I'm not going to lie to you, sir. For the first 45 years of my life, I did it wrong. I was doing it to prove everybody wrong. That was my drive and desire. You couldn't be farther from the truth. 45 to 51, now that I'm really starting to up my game and everything, um, is you have to do things to prove yourself right. Like, believe in yourself. I believe there are 4 pillars of success and 4 foundations or non-negotiables: teamwork, problem solving, leadership and communication, family, fitness, finances, and faith. If you merge those things together, the 8 points of life, you can and will be more successful today than you were yesterday if you apply them. Um, and too many people just do things like, I'll give you an example. Everybody wants to be a Navy SEAL now. The movies, this and that, but nobody wants to put in the work. You don't understand the work, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. And it doesn't even have to be a Navy SEAL. To be a Ranger, because always get people like, wait a minute, Ranger, SF, any type of specialized program. It's called specialized because it takes a specialized person to do this, to be a pilot, to be a teacher, to be a doctor, to be a this, to be a that. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody has the mental fortitude, the emotional discipline, the drive and the desire to do it, because too many people in America are too damn complacent. They're too lethargic, and they feel like they're entitled to things that they should have. When I tell people all the time, the only thing you're guaranteed in life is there are no guarantees. There are none. Like, people ask me what keeps you going. I visually look at myself and go, if I quit, and listen, there's a huge difference. I want to make this very clear to the listeners. There's a huge difference between quitting and failing, right? I fail every day. I have boards here where I fail every day. The things in the red are things that I fail. But what's so great about failing is you just take this, because I killed my eraser, you wipe it off and you replan. Now, quitting, I teach 7 points of performance to be a better you. The one thing I talk about is the Q is quit, but quit the excuses, quit procrastinating, quit putting things off. Now, I'm also in the same sentence the biggest quitter that you've ever met. People go, you can't say that, you're a Navy SEAL. That's not true. I quit the toxins in my life. I quit not believing in myself. I quit drinking. I don't really drink much anymore. You have to do that. So that's how you are going to be a better version of you, is if you quit the excuses, and then once you realize that, it's time to go to work, then what you have to do is cut out all the negative people, places, and things in your life. So yeah, someone just wrote, plans change, decisions don't. I don't but see, I agree with you on certain aspects of that, but others I don't. Like, case in point, there was no plan B with me to be a Navy SEAL. I met my wife one weekend, and knowing her, I knew she was going to be my wife. I am relentless and ruthless with my journey to success. And success isn't always from a monetary standpoint. Success is helping people helping others help themselves. But before you can do that, James Devlin from the Patriots is on here. He's a good friend of mine. Love you, big dog. Sorry, just big fan of his. But in order to be successful, in order to take that leap of faith and pursuit, you have to be ruthless. And again, my plans don't change. My decisions don't change. There's just variations of that. So I can't stress that enough. I get something in my head, and I'm going to find a way to make it happen. If I can't, I have a Rolodex of people in my life that are bigger, better, faster, and stronger than me. And they help me do that. Case in point, Mr. Devlin's on here right now. I mean, guy's a beast. And the thing is with the team, I just believe that humans need to have the team mentality, and it's not together everyone accomplishes more. Because if I stick a thumbtack on my ceiling, and no offense, I put 20 blind people in a room and I say, hey, find it, you're not going to find it. But if you understand that the T is trust, Trust yourself, trust others, and trust that everything has a process. James Devlin did not become an NFL football player overnight. There's a process, effort. Too many people tell me, I'm going to give you 100% of my effort. 100% is a glass window. I want everything you have, and then I want more. That's what I want. That's what I need. I don't like putting a number on them to give me everything. Everything is not a number. 100 is. 100% is this fictitious number. I'm going to give you everything. No, you're going to give me everything you have until you bleed, till you sweat, till you puke, till whatever. There's no number on that, because people always ask me, Ray, what's your max bench? It varies. Some days it's 385. It's been up to 400 before. It's been lower, because every day there's so many different components that are contributing to my maximum effort that you can't put 100, because people that say, hey, my max bench is 370 pounds, and they continue to do 370 pounds, that's because they literally put a cap on their limitations. I'm the guy that puts 3 plates on it and does it 10 times, and then I go, how do you do that? Because in my mind, I visualize it being 2 plates on each side. It's all about the mentality, about who you are and how you're doing it. My buddy was up all night hammering on it before we went to, I don't know what that is. Sorry, I'm reading some of these. So that's what you have to do. And so that's the effort. A is the attitude. Nothing will open or close a door faster in this world than a good or bad attitude. You have to have a positive attitude, even when shit hits the fan. You know, all I do is one of the things I always say is I bet on me, and I always say it could be worse. I just say that. Like, people are like, why are you so damn positive? Well, because I'm alive. And people go, that's such a cliche. No, it's not. I've been to too many damn funerals, and I've seen I mean, I'm in my 50s now. I'm seeing my friends are dying, and my biggest fear is leaving this world and not leaving a big impact. So you have the TEA, and M is the mission, and mission in the overall grand scheme of things is growth. And there are 6 forms of growth. I know Tony Robbins has like 21 different avenues, but I just go with, there's physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, and financial growth. These are the growths that most humans seek out. But everybody goes for the wrong one. They go for the financial when you need to dial in the other ones. When the money comes, I'm living proof of that. If you dial everything in first and you focus on, right, prioritize, strategize, monetize, then the monetization will come at the end. And monetization, again, isn't always about money. It's how you can create networks, relationships, trust, right? Just how you build anything. You're a very wise man, Cash. Honored to call you friend. Thank you, Mr. Devlin. Yeah, that's freaking
right.
Devlin, man. I used to watch him playing football. Like, yeah, he's no slouch. But and I've had the honor of meeting him and doing some events with him. And I honestly feel that, you know, you have to be on your A game every day. You don't get days off. Like, even when people go, like, today I wasn't supposed to work out, I still went to the gym, I have active recovery days. I honestly believe that time is the most precious commodity that we have, and I want to use as much of it as I can. Patriot Force USA, they made an amazing action figure with me. As some of the guys say, life size, because I'm only 5'7", 5'8", whatever I am. I think I used to be 5. I get all the jokes from the guys, I'm sure. But height doesn't define a man. Actions do. Just like the title of the things that I used to do, SEAL, CIA, blah, blah, that doesn't define who I am. That defines what I was, right? I honestly feel that I call that the Al Bundy syndrome. I was writing a book, I stopped. I'm not writing a book about what I did. I want to write a book about what I'm doing. How the hell do I write a book about things that I'm doing if I don't know what I'm doing yet? I know what I want to do. I know what's starting to happen, like my father-son program. I want to change the youth of this entire nation. I want to start a nationwide. I know people are going to get mad at me. I want to teach young men and young women how to shoot weapons so that when they grow up, they don't have these issues that we're having with weapons. Because most people that injure themselves or use them in the wrong applications don't understand a weapon, right? That's the problem. We hide behind too many things, too many walls, too many social media platforms, and we just, you need to get out there and do things. Miss Rhonda's on here. Wow, there's an amazing woman. She was just on
Amazing.
Fox. But that's what, yeah, do you know Miss Rhonda? She's amazing. So this is what society needs, and that's what my message and just kind of my mission is. My message and my mission is I want to make, and I'm not using President Trump's, I want to make America great again. And I'm not saying America isn't great. I'm saying it's not as strong as it was 20 or 25 years ago. Internally, we're imploding. And we need to start making some changes. And we need to stop catering to, 6 or 7% of society that's, I have no problem if you want to be different. I have no problem with that at all. You can be a guy, a girl, you can choose to be anything you want. Just don't pour it down my throat. Don't pour it down my throat. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but I don't. You'll never see me talk about politics or religion. I don't talk about it. Doesn't matter. Am I Christian? Yes. That's all you're going to get from me. Am I happy with the president we have now? No. Did I like Trump better? Yes. Did I think Trump was the most presidential president we've ever had? No. So, but there's never going to be a perfect anything. All I know right now is I have never seen this country as weak as it has been, and in my existence, I don't know what's going to happen.
Ulrika Appenty, this is what you just taught. So awesome. Yep.
Oh, is this what you just taught?
Yep.
So and here's the thing: what you need to understand when you get on podcast, right? The Jockos, the David Goggins, the me, the Rob O'Neill's, all of us. We all have the same underlining message. We just all present it in different ways. Some people, like a different presentation versus mine or someone else's. Some people like, it depends. Like, I'm not always going to get on here and scream about things and curse and yell, because that's not who I am all the time. But what we do need to do is we need to collectively come together as a nation. We need to stop doing stupid advertisements on stuff. Bud Light, I don't know what the hell you were thinking with that. Wow. Boy, I think that guy, whoever was in charge of that one, I think everybody was like the entire existence of their family for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
Never work at Bud Light. Let's just say, yeah, I do, man. I am a man of God. I'm not embarrassed to be about a man of God. My family is. Let me rephrase that. My wife is very religious. I am slowly becoming more and more. I'm not, I'm just saying that. I've had a really bad life where it's been hard for me to understand why God works the way he does. So I've had, I've lost a lot of people. I've had a very bad childhood. So for me, I've had a hard time adapting to that. But being married to the right woman, she helps me with that. So it is a crawl, walk, run process. Right now I am walking slowly, right? So, but I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm not ashamed. And I don't care if people do or do not believe in God. That you have that right as an American citizen. But my thing is I don't think we need to go to blows about it. I have friends that don't believe in God, and that's okay. But we don't talk about it. I have friends that are Democrats. I have friends that are Republicans. Sometimes I can't stand either of their views on things, but I maintain my views. I maintain my course, and I'm going to be just the best version of me I can be.
Yes, 100%. You wouldn't be the man you are today without going through all that.
No.
It built you.
No. Something I say all the time is pain equals growth, growth equals power, power equals knowledge, and knowledge equals profit. Some of the most successful men and women I know, and I run with some of the most elite in America, Ed Milet's, Andy Frasilla's, the Sean Whalens, and I know everything's going on with the T-shirt with him. Stop. Everybody has their comments. Bedros Koulias, Dan Fleshman's, the list go on and on. All of them, all of us have some form of overlapping trauma in our life because there's two types of people in this world: people that learn and earn from their trauma, and then other people that shut it off and decide to just become that victim over and over and over and over again. That's not me. And I think if more people took a deeper look into themselves, right, into the spiritual side of them, they would realize they're not either. Because I tell every single person on this planet was put here for a reason. I have people, I coach people all the time and I speak all the time, and people tell me, I don't know why I was put on earth. I'm like, well, let's rewind. Let's go back to 9 months before March 5th when I was delivered, when my father and mother were having intercourse, right? Semen was released. Tens of millions, or whatever the number is, of semen were released. Somehow, some way, some shape, some form, I won. You won. Whoever's watching, you won. You've already won the lottery. You've already won the lottery. Now I know we have some people that are born with complications and things like that, and I don't understand that. I don't understand why that happens. But I also see people without limbs that are doing amazing things. I'm also seeing people that don't have eyes, that are blind, that can do amazing things. So my thing is I think these people that realize that life is a gift, they're so much more successful, even though I'm not as tall as I wish I was. Everybody wishes they were something that they're not currently. And I think the real heart and the nuts and bolts of this is stop trying to be someone. Like, for the longest time when I got out, I hung out with all these rich people. I wanted to be them. And someone told me, just work on being the richest version of you can be. And I'm like, what does that mean? And they're just like, just focus on being a better you. And that's all I do, man. I do things my way. I won't change who I am for anyone.
Oh, wow.
I'm limbless. Oh, we have someone who's limbless. I didn't even know that. Miss Barbie amputee. Wow. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Yeah, exactly. And that's from Lowell. I mean, Lowell is one of my mentors. We work together in a different life. We'll leave it at that. But I watch so many people. I get so frustrated that are wishing and wanting, and they're not making and taking action. They're bitching, groaning, griping and aching, when they should just be like, praise it, like, praise God, I'm here. Like, I get up every day. I mean, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and BS you and tell you I get up every day and it's rainbows and lollipops. I'm not going to do that. But every day that I do get up, I get up and say thank you. I do. I say thank you. And I don't know if I'm saying thank you to God. I don't know if I'm saying thank you to myself. I don't know if I'm saying thank you. But I say thank you because I have another day to ... Those 3 dots, you can create, right? I tell every one of my students this. I have journals. I have different journals. I have journals for good. I have journals for bad. I have all these journals that I write in. The blue one's the bad one, when I'm doing things that are wrong. But you be grateful, not greedy, and just get up and attack it. Write the story and journal. For the love of God, journal. Journal the story. Look back at listen, people always say, I'll never look back. Listen, rear view mirror is smaller than the front for a reason. But you still have to look back from time when you change lanes, right? You do. So I look back all the time because I'm like, you know what? I need to change some lanes in my life. What the symbolism is, maybe I need to weed out some of the toxic individuals, people, places, and things in my life. We're constantly changing lanes. We're constantly evolving. We're constantly, like taste buds. We're constantly evolving as humans. And the thing is I think technology is evolving so much faster than humans, that humans stop evolving because they're just trying to just catch up with the technology, right? Where it's, no, like, do what I do. Like tonight, my wife and daughter, we went out and bought these pre-made, they ship them home. I can't remember the name of those, but like we cook as many nights a week as we can. We do go out to dinner, once a week, but last night I cooked with my daughter. Tonight, my wife cooks with my daughter. these are just some coaching points that'll help you be a better human being. You know, I have a work phone here. I have the phone that I'm on here. You know what I do with my phone when I have dinner? I text the people, hey, I put do not disturb on there. I'm having dinner for an hour. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to pour into my family for an hour. How was your day? Right? It used to be, and I know so many people live this life. You ask your wife or your kids, how was your day? Good. What you do? Stuff. No. That's unacceptable, man. Tell me what you did today. Well, Daddy, I had a test. We're studying for this. Oh, like, I love it to the point where, like, I can't shut them up now. And that's not, I'm
Right.
not saying that in a
Absolutely.
derogatory way. I love it. But imagine if more people just started communicating. Like, that's the problem. We let too many things communicate for us. I have a coaching client she's a female, she's overweight, she doesn't even leave the house, she doesn't need to leave the house. And because she has money, because she works from home, and she has her fancy cars and this and that, she orders all her food and stuff. And I said, what's the biggest problem you have? I'm 300 pounds, I'm gonna lose weight. I want you to cancel all your apps. I can't do that because then I'll have to go out. Yes, you will have to go out. This was about 6 months ago. She's lost about 120 pounds. You know why she loses weight? She runs out real fast because she doesn't want anybody to see her, and she runs back. But now she's like, hey, Ray, I've lost 120 pounds. Of course you have. Now what she's doing, she's starting to go out and meet people, get more confident. It's just these little things. It's about, remember I said, trusting the process. Everything has a process. You just have to figure out how to apply the proper process to whatever it is you're doing. And there's no answer to that, right? There's no right answer. Every day the process changes. Every day the game changes. You just have to be able to adapt and overcome. And, you know, I don't want to use all the, you know, overcome and conquer and use old podcast themes, but you have to, life is chess, man. You got to stay ahead of the game. Or, you know, or do you want to play checkers? Both are great games. Checkers in the moment. Chess is about, you know, being ahead of the game. As service members, we knew our mission. And it was vital for us.
Attack.
Yeah, man, I'm dying to meet this Barbie.
Yes.
She sounds like an amazing person. I mean, I may even know her. I don't know. We may even follow each other. I don't know. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, I'm watching our time here. I don't know how long we have. Is I feel more people need to use these social media platforms, like for good. Social, like, you know, I understand that, you know, haters are the biggest form of a compliment you can get, but you know what's so funny is I have like 62,000. Oh, I'm a man.
Yeah,
I thought it said Barbie. Sorry, it's Barb.
Yeah.
I thought I just saw Barb here. I'm old. I apologize. Here,
Gotcha.
I apologize. Barbaric means savage. Okay, I didn't even see barbaric. Sorry, man. I have my glasses on. I can barely see. Wow, I had no clue. I sincerely apologize. That is my wife, and I'm on a cliff. Copy. My bad. Wow, you can't undo that. So sorry. What the hell was I just talking about? I'm sorry. He just threw me off.
Communications and stuff like that.
Damn you, the guy with the cliff, it just threw me off. I lost my whole train of thought. I don't even know what I was talking about. Anyway, I don't know. He just, damn you, barbaric amputee. Now people are going to be like, are you yelling at an amputee?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
But
this is what happens when you turn 51, man. You got to put these
and you break your
on.
train of thought.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. My mind is like,
oh, the 120 pounds.
We're talking about women that lost 120 pounds. And now barbaric amputee is coming to my rescue. Damn you. I love this guy. But anyway, talking about trusting the process, I kept telling her, you got to trust the process. She's 120 pounds down now. And she was like, I lost the weight that I wanted. I'm like, okay, what's next? And she goes, what do you mean, what's next? I was like, you can't stop there. Don't play checkers, play chess. What's next? How are you going to keep the weight off? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? Right? So that's what it's about. And hopefully she keeps the weight off, and everybody's going to have peaks and troughs. Everybody deals with that. But that's that's part of the game. That's part of life. So yeah.
Again, I think it's awesome and all that on what you do, and I love it. I wish more people would be like that. And it's like, how do we get more people to communicate better and to use these, again, to use these platforms? It's free advertisement. Do the right things. Simple little things like that. Talk about positivity. But how do you
Yeah, I
deal
agree.
with, because I'm sure, people don't think that, oh, you don't get no negative feedback or anything like that. But so how do you deal with that? What's your response to the negative on
Oh,
me?
well, okay.
Yeah.
Haters, that's what we were talking about. Um, so I've gone viral a couple times. And I will tell you, everybody think, well, now you just can buy blue checks, I guess. I don't know. I don't pay for blue checks. I don't pay for friends. Um, so anyway, when you have hundreds of thousands of followers, you're gonna have hundreds of thousands of problems. Tim Kennedy, a very good friend of mine, said, he's like, right, nobody hates people more than me on Instagram. I was like, come on, man, you're doing such a great thing. It doesn't matter what you do. The people that make these negative comments, there's two things you should do. I block them because I just don't want to see it again, or ignore them. I guess I'm not a big enough a person to ignore them. I'd rather just block it out of my life because I've had so much negative crap in my life anyway. But how do I deal with it? I take it as a compliment. A lot of times when somebody writes something negative to me, I write, hey, I hope you're having a good day, man. Just thinking about you. And they're like, what? But I'm also the guy that does the 1,320 push-ups. I used to do them on Saturdays. I stopped because Instagram thought I was a domestic terrorist. And when someone would say something rude, I would stop, and then I try to go live with them. And guess what
They don't
happens
show up.
99.9% of the time? They decline or they do this. That's all you get. That's the two things. The 1%, I'm not giving you the finger, does that. The other 99.9 doesn't do that. So I have just taken an oath with myself that if I see a negative comment, I'm just going to block it. And the thing is I always ask myself is, how sad is someone's life? Because you see it all the time. They will literally have multiple accounts, or they will create a new account just to come back and lash out at you. What that is a cry for help. David Goggins takes all the negative comments and says what they say and puts them in videos or audio and listens to it. Me, I just, listen, I feed off of positive and negative, but I've got so much negative from my life. I don't need any external negative. The people that are negative, 99% of them have tried to do what you're doing or try to do something. They didn't fail. They quit. And they're quicksand, and they want to bring you down with them. And that's okay. If you're going to step in quicksand, go ahead. Me, I avoid it like the plague. And I think more people need to do that. And I think if more people took a stand, I think we would have a lot less negativity on these social. And there are groups that actually get together and do this. I've actually learned this, that they'll report you enough. Like people make fun of me and say something, I'll write, you're a sissy. And I get hit for being a bully. I'm like, calling someone a sissy? Because when we were kids, and I'm not going to say it,
Oh yeah.
we called each other much, much worse. Because it was just, surface. It scratched the surface. No one cared. Now it's, you say something or blink at somebody the wrong way and they're offended. The problem I think with America is, and I know I'm going to get some backlash from this, is we were kids, man. If you had a problem with somebody, you gave them a fat lip. You didn't beat them to death. You didn't, stab them or knife them down. You went outside. You duked it out. One person picked up the other one. You said you're done. It was either yes or no, and you either went at it again or I'll be back. It was done with.
And I loved it when we would go back, and sometimes you become best friends after it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the closest people I'm friends with, we got off to the wrong start. And I always say, listen, always assume positive intent, right? I always try to I assume positive intent. Not everybody means to do you harm. I'm always cautious, right? You know, as I'm getting closer to somebody, right? I do a little, I get a little closer, but you know, I'm cautious, but I definitely try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
That's
You could definitely hold on. Someone wrote something. I'm gonna read this. You could definitely learn a lot about ourselves after getting punched in the nose. Yeah, and you know what's funny is back in the day when you got punched in the nose, you probably
more
deserved it.
likely. That's what I did.
You know, like I've been hit in the face before and been like, wow, boy, I deserve that. And usually what happens is your face gets all tingly if it doesn't knock you out. And then you go, shit, I got to finish this fight. I'm probably going to get hit again. Here we go. And half the time it's just like, are we done? Let's stop this. You know, authenticity still exists for sure. It does, but it's a rare commodity. Go my fireside, which makes great products. So yeah.
Oh man,
What else you got
I
for
love
me?
it all. Know that, but again, what would you say about a lot of people? They wear masks, but take off those masks and just be original. Because that's one thing. Like you and Robert and everybody like that. You guys are original. You guys are honest. You're genuine about it. Like Major Ed Polito. I mean, there's no hiding. You see what you know. You get what you see. You're not going to bullshit your way. Excuse my language. I apologize to anybody if I offended anybody.
Oh, you're not hurting my feelings. I'm keeping my
But
language down for you.
people, you know, it's like, okay, how many masks? You forget which mask you're wearing. You don't have to do that. Try being yourself.
I agree. You know, and the zero F's given is just my mantra. I mean, the people that say that like me actually do care, but we care about what the right people think about us. Like case in point, in Charlie 091, I don't know you, and I'm please just let me finish this before you think anything. If Charlie Zero came on here and said something horrible about me, which I don't think he is, I'd be like, I'd say two things like, you know, okay, and then why? And then after that, if he just says something nasty again, like I'd be like, I would just block Charlie Zero out of my life. Not that Charlie Zero's done anything. Versus too many people sit around and they worry too much about what the wrong people think about them, and they waste majority of their life doing that. People that you know they get ulcers or they're concerned. I mean, like no, this is what your obligation is in life. You're born. Try to be a great human being. Try to get in good shape because the healthier you are, normally, statistically, the longer you live. Um, Surround yourself with great people. If you have the privilege of having a family, be a man or woman of integrity. Have great kids. Teach them the right way to do things. Grow old with the people that you love, and then hopefully, if and when you die, not if, but not hopefully, but hopefully when you die, you've left an impact on this on your on the world, right? Case in point, right? Anybody that's here that's married, right? You know, there were other. Your wife was a meteor, right? The symbolism I use when I speak, right? It comes through the atmosphere and burns up. There's been more than one meteor in my life, but the one that was so powerful, so impactful, it came and burned through the atmosphere, hit the earth, which was here, here, and here, right? That's the one that left the mark. That's the one for us to get married, you know, that's what happens. You need to have that same mentality with everything. Be the meteor that even the atmosphere can't burn up. And when you hit the ground, you're going to, you know, the symbolism is you're going to leave an impact. And if you're going to leave an impact, let it be for good, not bad. Don't be a douche. Pardon my language. Like, you know, these kids that get on here that, you know, social media, like I made, there was a video that went viral. I made a guy quit. I made a guy quit
Oh,
one of our programs. I told him he had to ring the bell, but there were standards. He wasn't meeting the standards. He thought that he's just said, well, I'm not going to quit. You can't, I can go as slow as I want. So you can't be last at everything in life and not put out any effort and expect to still make the team, whatever that team is. So, you know, majority of the 40,000 comments I got were from kids between the ages of 14 and like 20 that still lived at home, that never had any limitations or expectations, and probably never been on like a team, like wrestling. If you don't make weight, you don't wrestle. If you have wrestle offs, if you're not the number one guy, you don't get the number one slot. We need to have more competition and competitiveness in America, and we need to have more standards. We need to set higher standards, starting with like physical fitness. I am not a believer of having all these damn participation trophies. My daughter won states in Virginia Beach, #1 overall, and they were giving
Oh,
out trophies to number
I can't
25.
do that.
That look, that looked like something like this. Here, you get a trophy. Well, this is the key to my TRX, but like here, the trophy was like
Really?
this big. I'm like, because they don't want to hurt feelings. Or you give out trophies for first, second, and third place, and tell everybody, listen, if you want that trophy, you got to work harder. So that's what America needs more of. Again, and I'm not ranting. I'm not saying that I love America. I just think we need to do these little tweaks to be, to make things the way they used to be. I mean, I remember life without internet. I got along just great with everything. I mean, it wasn't as fast, before we had call waiting, before we had cell phones.
Pager.
I remember
And all that other.
when Beta and VHS came out. I mean, it was the greatest thing in the world. And you know what's funny? If that phone you called girl, that phone was busy and busy and busy and busy, you still found a way to get to her or get to a friend. You got on your bike and you got out and you moved, because that's what we need to do with more of the youth. Get them off the damn video games and get them outside. Like my backyard in our neighborhood, we have a line of houses on the back. It's a wildlife refuge. Every single yard has a fence except ours. I tore it down. I have kids walk down the side of my grass and go back in the woods and play. And they do. There's like a trail back there. We have a guy that rides motorcycles, and we have a lady that has a horse. They don't tear up our lawn. Go ahead. Go back there. The deer, they come up our lawn. They don't eat any of our bushes or anything. We have an understanding. They eat everyone else's because they're mad at everyone else for doing it. I love it. So it's all about just, helping with having balance and stuff. So cigar looks good. I can't smoke in the house, but I got a couple of them right there.
And I was going to ask you, it's like, okay, so a lot of people don't know. You're the push-up god, okay? Well, why are you push-up god? But what's the significance behind 1320 that you do?
So 1320 is, well, yeah. So the number is supposed to be 22, vets take their life. The number is much higher than that. It's much, much higher. I think it's almost at like 35 or 40 right now. It varies. But I was doing 22 push-ups on the minute every minute for 60 minutes out of respect for veterans. Like a lot of people were buying badges and stuff, and I would donate all the money to, different causes for veterans and stuff like that. We're with Watchtower Firearms. In like 2 weeks, we're donating $10,000 to the Marine Recon Foundation for an event for kids. So it's all about giving back, right? The more you make, the more you give. That's what I think we need to try to reprogram America with. We have too many vets out there that are over-medicated and undereducated, meaning, I'm not saying vets are stupid, let me finish. The VA wants to put them on drugs versus take them off the drugs, get them in some like vocational, get them like, because the things, right? Like certain vets are only good at doing certain things, I think there needs to be more trade crafts, more trade schools. If I ran this world, instead of taking care of all these foreign other countries, I would focus on this first, where we live. Once we get our shit dialed in, then we can focus on everybody else's. Because I don't know if, contrary to popular belief, when other countries have problems and we have problems, they take care of their countries first. I know we're the superpower. We're the superpower, and we're supposed to take care of everybody. But no, superpowers take care of themselves. Then they'll take care of others. There's too many backdoor deals and politician deals going on, and everybody's worried about this. We got the is that the Pew Pew G1 here? What a great guy! I met him in a SHOT Show. Great guy. And we just need to focus on the task at hand. And that's fixing the immediate threat that we have here. We have, look at our borders. Our borders are weak. Chinese is buying up all the damn land. Thank God we pretty much stopped that. But it's horrible. I mean, the things that are happening in America, everybody, vast majority of Americans walk around with blinders on, thinking that it's not going to happen. It is. It's just when something is going to happen. Something is going to happen again. That is how this world works. We have a lot of issues. We will have, we had the towers go down, and we came together as a family for a little bit, and then we had whenever we have a bomber or something, right? The marathon bomber. We have all these things, and all of a sudden we come together. Why do we need something horrific
when we can do
to
it
bring us
every day.
together? It's ridiculous. That's veterans with the signs on here. Man, we got
I
some
love
bigwigs
it.
on here now, man.
But these are, again, important topics that need to be talked about. A lot of people are afraid to talk about it and bring it up. It's like, oh, I'm going to hurt people's feelings. Nobody wants to talk about it. But instead, to talk about stupid stuff, how about talk about realistic stuff? Stuff that's happening. Try to help the homeless and all that, because that's unacceptable when you have homeless vets or homeless people. But the most importantly is you got children out there that are freaking homeless. How's that okay?
Yeah, I agree. I think more people need to put down the whole fear of, everybody's so scared of what they say if they blink the wrong way, if they do this. It just, I'm not being disrespectful to anyone. I mean, I'm not, lives were lost. I mean, these, vets are taking their lives. We don't have the proper treatment for the people that make this country the way it is, right? I think LEOs and teachers and firefighters, they don't get enough money. We'll pay sports athletes, and listen, I got tons of athletes that are friends or friends that are athletes, but we pay them astronomical amounts of money, millions and millions and millions of dollars. But then there's
Right.
other people risking their life, running through danger, running into fires, saving people, doing a job where even if they save someone, then they're probably going to get sued, and they're doing this for pennies on the dollar. We need to reverse engineer that, man. Like when I was growing up, being a police officer was like it was every kid's dream, or being a firefighter, being an astronaut. I mean, and then it was being a professional football player or something. That's what everybody wanted to do. Now we want to defund this and take away this and do this. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That is the dumbest thing. And because it's the same thing. Like, you don't want savage until it's time for savage. You don't want someone to use aggression until it's time to use aggression. And people don't want this until it happens to them. Like, no one wants, you want to defund the police, but then if someone breaks in your house, who's the first person you're calling? The police. That happened over in Portland. Portland was like, you don't want us, we ain't coming. They gotta wake up real quick on that, man. Like, having a system in place, right? And again, not every LEO is great. Not every firefighter is going to be the best. But compared to other countries, we're much less corrupt. I mean, me and my wife got pulled over in Mexico, and we got hustled for some money. Guy said, I speak a little Spanish, and what he said wasn't making sense. But guess what? It happened. There's nothing we could do. Yet you have brave men and women that put their lives on the line, and what do they get in response? They get taunted, they get threatened, they get abused, and they sit there and take that. Man, when I was a kid, if you spoke ill will to a police officer,
Exactly.
God help you. I still get pulled over. I put my hands out of the car. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And I'm usually 10, 15 years older than them. They're like, you've done this before. I'm like, no, my stepfather was an LEO, and I respect the hell out of what you guys do. And usually you strike up a conversation with them. Sometimes you get off, sometimes you don't. Some advice I always tell people: you see a police officer out there, you see a server out there, thank them. Like, whenever I have a server or a busboy or somebody that comes up, hey, what's your name? We were at Miami at Fountain Blue a couple weeks ago, a month or two ago, and we were at this really fancy steak restaurant. We gave a big tip, but there was this. He wasn't like a busboy, but he was like an assistant who was doing all this stuff. And I think he was from Cuba. His English was broken, but he was hustling, man. I watched him, and I pulled him over here, and I said, "Hey, man, come here for a second." He's like, "Is something wrong, sir?" I'm like, "Absolutely. You work too hard for too little money." And I gave him $100. He started showing me pictures of his kids. He started doing this. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And the server was like, what are you doing? Wow, Ronin
Wow.
Tactics is on here. There you go.
Much
There you go.
respect.
Love you too. One of my mentors. But it's people like two that taught me, you got to appreciate everybody. You can't just appreciate the pilot who flies the plane. You got to appreciate the mechanics, everybody that makes everything go around, right? Just like in football, everybody loves the quarterback, but it's the whole team, right? Like I know Two Lambs on here. Two Lamb's a monster at what he does. He wouldn't be half the man he wasn't. And I know who I'm talking to if it wasn't for Ruthie. That's his wife. He'll kill me, but he knows I'm right. So I got goosebumps because he's probably going to kill me. But you have to appreciate everybody and everything because everybody has an intricate part of this balance of life that we have. And too many people are only focusing on the people that are showcased. There's so many people that are doing so many great things. I hear Navy SEAL, Goggins and Jocko. There are so many other special force men and women in certain branches that are doing things so much more elevated. They just don't have the platform, so I'm not digging on them. They're both great human beings. But my point is never judge a book by its cover and never underappreciate someone that is hustling. You got to do it, man. Like I said, you go to a fancy restaurant, everybody pays the server. I have literally gone to a pizza place where me and my wife have got a perfect pizza and I said, hey, who cooked this pizza? And they're like, why? I'm like, can I see the guy who cooked this? And there's a place we go to. And he came out, he's like, what's wrong with the pizza? I'm like, here's $20. You did you cooked this pizza perfect. He's like, I can't take that. I'm like, yes, you can. I'm giving it to you. I'm still going to tip them. I appreciate the fact that you made that pizza. Like he literally made that pizza. I know we're talking about pizza, but it doesn't matter. He treated that pizza like he was making it for his family. And that is a trade craft that is not happening enough. And it infuriates me when I see people that go through, like you look at Two Lamb, his childhood of, I get emotional thinking of what it took for him to get to where he is now. And you understand why he's the man he is. And I'm not sitting here having a crush on a friend of mine, but I thought my life was bad. I mean, like he could have reverse engineered that and just given up on life, but instead he's super successful. He gives back to the community, and he's a family man, and that's what's important to me. So that's the key message here for everybody is just be grateful for what you have and realize that life is a delicate balance. It needs savage and it needs servant because we need to be savage servants. And, no matter how bad it is, if you are breathing, you are ahead of the people that aren't. I don't like to use the whole 6 foot under the ground, but you're here for a reason. Whether you're 51 or you're 21, it's like the universe. It's constantly expanding. What wisdom, knowledge, relationships. Don't settle. That's all I've got to say. Just don't settle because too many people in America are settling, and we're so much better than that as a whole. We are the United States of America. We are the king of the walk, baby. And just think of, and if you rewind our ancestors, I mean, it doesn't matter. They came from all over. They wanted to come here to make a greater civilization, and we did it. And I feel like we're chipping away at it. We're just trying to, now it's like this amazing tree and everybody wants to chop down the tree. No, man, we need to reinforce that tree. We need to give it more love, more water, more nurture, and the tree, just let it grow again. So that's all I got. I'm exhausted.
But it's the truth though. People, you can't say it enough. What you do and all that and how people could be, and keep reinforcing it and keep getting the word out there because again, I'm very sad to, because there's too many young people that are committing suicide on top of it. That's really tough because, and back in the day, it wasn't like that. They had feelings or something like that. Yeah. Bullies are going to be everywhere, but you know what? They're committing suicide at a young rate, and it's getting out of control. It's been out of control. And it's time that we start stepping up and reaching out and helping, because they're
Well, I think a lot of people, a lot of vets that are committing suicide are very proud, and they don't want to ask for external help. So it's our job as friends and colleagues of these individuals to show them vulnerability, which is actually strength, and say, hey, are you okay? You know, you may not break through for them on the first day, but you know what? If I see somebody that's off, I will reach out to them. I send gratitude messages to people. You have to do these things to keep the balance of life. You know, nobody has a great day every day. If you see someone that's been running on like 8 cylinders and then they seem a little off, stop them, ask them, hey, are you okay? Is there anything I could do for you? Do you want to go out and have a cup of coffee? Do you want to go out and have tea? Do you want to have dinner? Because sometimes people just need to feel loved and they need to be heard. You know, there's nothing wrong. I know people are there's nothing wrong with throwing your arms around another man and say, hey, brother, I love you. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Some of the strongest men I know on planet Earth, and I know some tough SOBs, are the most giving, generous, loving guys I've ever met. Always. It doesn't always have to be the, hey, brother, you know, give somebody a hug, man. Tell them you love them. It's okay to tell somebody you love them and you're thinking about them. So, yeah, that's.
Brother, I love it. And
Yeah.
again, congratulations on your position at the, oh, God, man, at Watchtower Firearms. So if anybody, you know, again,
thank you.
You're going to make great things happen with a great company. You guys are a great team that are working together, and just keep doing what you're doing. But what's the biggest program that you're working on right now that you're most passionate about? Not saying you're not about anything else, but.
Well, I mean, my biggest passion right now is, the new job that I have is my passion right now, because we're making American guns built by Americans in America. But, you know, the father-son program that we're using, the Squire program, and the Operation Blacksite are my passion projects, because we're teaching people how to be more tactically and technically sound, and we're teaching young men how to be young men, not how to be little punks. So they're my two passion projects. If anybody has any you know, and I'll tell them right now, Operation Blacksite is a year-long mastermind. It's $20,000. The Squire program is $1,900, and it's for 15 hours for father and son. And we have them in multiple locations. So if you're interested, hit me up.
Those are great programs and all that. So if there's anything that I can do or my company can do to help you guys out, I'll do it. And for anybody else out there, is what would you say, how could they help what you're going after, like different programs, if they want to donate or anything like that? How can they reach out and help?
Well, I don't know about, we don't really donate to them. It's just, if you know someone, if you know a young man, or you know, who even doesn't have a male role model, reach out to me. If you're willing to help with the assistance in finance, or if you're just a human being that's looking to network for a corporate training that we're doing and learn how to fight and shoot and move and communicate and do a lot of great things. So, I mean, you know, it's a case-by-case basis. You know, I can squireprogram.com or operationblacksite.com. Check them out, see if there's something you're interested in, and that's it.
All awesome facts, man. And again, congratulations on everything. And just a little insider, I'm a part of Armed Forces Brewing Company. Wearing the hoodie of it. Mr. Ray Cash Care is too. I love, there's certain things when you were caught in that, was it the tutu or the dress? Ah! See, look at him smile. There is a funny side to Mr. Ray Cash Care.
Yeah, there's yeah, you know, hey, I'm human. You know, I've had my share of dressing up at Halloween, or my daughter wants me to dress up. So big difference between that and what's going on nowadays. But yes, I'm the father that when my daughter was little, when she said, "Daddy, will you dress up for me?" I said, "I sure will." Yes. And I've jumped out of a plane before with tutus on, because that's just some silly stuff we did back in the day. But it was taken in a different manner and a light. So yeah.
I didn't mean to bring it. It was just about just to say that, hey, you are human. You do.
Oh no, I don't mind. I don't mind. I am human. You know, we're all human. I think more people need to show the more humanistic side of them. And I think we would do so much better.
100%. Well, again, I appreciate you, Mr. Recash Care, and everything that you do. And I look forward to talking to you in the future. And thank you, everybody who joined and made the comments and all that. You know, much respect. If anybody needs any help, especially veterans, please reach out 988 and then dial 1. So if you need any help, please do that. You're not alone. You're not
Right.
alone. Let's make America great and have a good time doing it.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, sir. Thank you for having me on.
God bless everybody, and I will talk to you later.
Take care, sir.